Hello, friends. It's me, Mrs. Short. I am here to read you another holiday story. Holiday, fall, pumpkin. I love this story. I know. I say that all the time. I guess it's because I just love reading children's stories and now writing them. All right, this one is called, I may have to use my glasses on this one, The Legend of Spookley, the Square Pumpkin. It is written by Joe Troiano and it is illustrated by Susan Banta. Trying to get the shine out of the way here. I don't know about you, but when I go and look for pumpkins, nowadays there's so many different sizes and colors and shapes, and it's so cool. I love the orange pumpkins, but there's all different kinds. So you can paint them at home or you can buy them painted, buy them different sizes. So this is the story of all different kinds of pumpkins, whether they're orange and round like the usual or different kinds, just like we're all different. All right, I am going to put my glasses on for this one. So, this is for all of you who love to go pumpkin picking. Mr. Short and I need to do that soon. One day in the pumpkin patch, the strangest little pumpkin hatched. Spookley wasn't like his friends. Where they had curves, he had ends. Spookley was different. He was odd. He was rare. Spookley the pumpkin wasn't round. He was square. And they're all like, why is he square? And even he is thinking, well, pumpkins grow all different shapes. While the round pumpkins had fun rolling around, poor Spookley sat there shaped all wrong. He tried and tried with all his might, but he couldn't budge. He just sat tight. The other pumpkins teased him because he was square. Spookley wished he was round and could roll everywhere. That is, until one night when they all discovered it's fine to be round when the weather is fair, but there are times it's better to be square. Halloween was just a day away. What a mighty storm blew across the bay. It tossed the round pumpkins to and fro. It snapped their vines. Then off they'd go, bouncing left, slamming right, banging, bashing. What a sight! Spookley sat there filled with fright, but glad to be a square that night. Suddenly the fence gave way. 3 pumpkins rolled out into the bay. Spookley knew what must be done. It was up to him. He was the one. He teetered, he tottered, he tipped, he tried, and finally flipped. He was on his side. Again he tipped, again he flopped, and he flipped, and then. What do you think? You're right. He stopped right in the gap where the fence had snapped. He blocked the way. The hole was capped. All the pumpkins shouted, "Hooray!" Spookley the square pumpkin had saved the day. Then a pumpkin hit him with a whack. He thought his shell would start to crack. Then another one hit him with a thump, and another one with a smack. Sorry, I'm trying to hold it so you can see all the pictures. Then, one by one, a ton of pumpkins piled on the stack with a bang and a bash and a crunch and a crash, and then it all went black. At dawn, when the storm had stopped, the farmer came out and checked his crop. He picked up his pumpkins one by one and laid them out in the warm, dry sun. And when the last was moved away, the farmer could see what had saved the day. An odd shaped pumpkin, short and dense, that means like heavy, was wedged against the broken fence. Its shell was bruised, its stem was too, but there was brave little Spookley sitting straight and strong and true. Right then and there, the farmer knew of all the seeds he'd ever sown, Spookleys were the most special that had ever grown. And the next year, when it was time to sow, meaning plant, not like sow a hole in a sock, but sow, SOW, meaning plant seeds. So the next year, when it was time to sow, he sowed those seeds in every row. He watered and weeded and watched them grow. And oh, that morning about mid-June, when the pumpkin patch began to bloom, there were tiny pumpkins everywhere, hundreds and hundreds of them square. But, see, what do you see that's different, friends? Some were cubes, some were rectangular, some were flat, and others triangular. There was a bed of bright red ones and 2 rows of blue. There were polka dot pumpkins and rainbow ones too, and hundreds of shapes. Oh, what a garden variety makes. Look at that. I love all the different color pumpkins. Now, every year on Halloween, Spookley's Patch is quite a scene. People come from far and near to see what wonders grew that year. They stop, they gawk, they gaze, they stare. Then they pick a pumpkin that's round, triangular, or perfectly square. Did you notice that in most of the pictures there's a scarecrow and a bat and a bird? I bet you did. Now you know the story of how Spookley grew. Maybe someday, if you tell someone too, they'll go tell someone who'll go tell another, and maybe one day we will all discover you can't judge a book or a pumpkin by its cover. I hope you enjoyed this story, my friends. My students loved it every year. And you know what we did after I read this story? I bet you know. I took out all different color construction paper. I asked them what color they wanted. I let them pick whatever color they wanted, and they got to create their own pumpkin in any shape or size that they wanted, and they got to name it and write a sentence about it. It was so much fun. I miss those days. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I will see you next time. Happy pumpkin picking. Bye.